one of the things that I've struggled with for a long time is to incorporate my faith into what I do in my everyday life and this channel in order to do many things, in order to be a testimony to what I believe, in order to show people who don't believe in what I do, which is Christianity, a little bit more about Christianity itself, and maybe have them ask some questions like, maybe I should check this out, wonder what it's all about. And I know I shouldn't overpower you guys with stuff like that on this channel because that's not what it's about. But then I thought to myself, if I really believe in what I say I believe in, then I should try to get it out to as many people as possible, especially to those who don't believe in it. Because in Christianity, we believe there is a certain way you live your life based on wanting to be part of Jesus, wanting to be connected with Jesus and saved by Jesus. And even though that a lot of us don't actually believe that out there, I know a lot of guys don't believe that out there, and that's fine. That's what I'm trying to do, is trying to reach people like that and then help you in your job as well. So I'm hoping that if I can help you in your job and you'll see a point to all this, then you will then investigate maybe what I'm talking about as far as the faith side. Of course, I don't demand anybody go look at anything they don't want to, but all I'm trying to do is give you a viable option to look at and maybe give you a reason to check out that option, and that's it. So that's what we're going to do here today, and that's what I'm going to do in the future, ever so often on this channel, just so you guys can get a taste, just so you guys and girls out there get a taste of it, but you actually learn something about your field. So there's a worthwhile either way. Even though you might not be turned on by the spiritual and faith side of it, maybe you'll be interested by the HVAC side of it, the application that we find. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the Bible. Don't be afraid. Don't turn the video off just yet, because what we're going to do is learn a little bit about the trade from the Bible. What I'm looking at right here is a book of the Bible. It's called part of the Gospels. It's the first 4 books of the New Testament: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. This is Matthew. This is chapter 9, verse 35 through 38. That's what I'd actually drew a little arrow here, because when I was reading Matthew, I said, man, this is a good part right here. This is a good lesson right here. So this is called "The Harvest is Plentiful, but the Laborers Few." And it says, "And Jesus went throughout all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom and healing every disease and every affliction. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them, because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, 'The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into this harvest.'" Now, there's a few different lessons I think we can learn from this. The first thing I see whenever I read this is that we have all this work to do, basically, and we have very few people to do it. And I think a lot of people out there, let's take it loosely at first. A lot of people out there who work for companies, especially companies that are not family-owned, larger companies especially, you may feel like you're part of a giant machine and you are somewhat insignificant, and you're just trying your hardest and you're working your hardest, and you feel like the people that are the laborers in this particular passage. Now, Bible scholars out there, we're going to take some loose lessons off of this, so don't hold me too closely to exact meanings of the Bible, because I'm trying to tie these things together in a way that guys might be curious and might be able to apply it to their careers. It's tough being the guy who does what he thinks is all the work while other people kind of skate by. It's a frustrating feeling, but if you can look at it, and I think this is a good way to look at it for what you do, not for what other people don't do. Don't compare yourself to other people, because there are no like comparisons. And that breeds jealousy, and that breeds anger. And even though you might see a guy get a promotion that you thought you deserved, just consider this. You don't know every reason that things happen. You don't know what happens behind the scenes. And just being one of those people who work so hard out there to just have what they think is such a tough life, just remember that we're all part of this thing. And we don't know all the ins and outs of each other. And we don't know what's going on with each other. So keeping yourself focused on yourself is probably the best thing you can do. I mean, the Bible also says that you don't trade insults with people. If someone insults you, you don't insult them back. That is maybe one of the most difficult workplace things, when you have a grievance with somebody and you just want to go toe-to-toe and you just want to, for all intents and purposes, throw down with that person. You must resist that. because you're not helping your cause. You might satisfy some primal urge for revenge, but beyond that, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere by doing that. In fact, you're going to hurt you. You're going to hurt them. And even though you might disagree with them, that is a person you're disagreeing with. And people have highs and lows. And the person you see in front of you in present time might not be the person that's supposed to come to fruition. Meaning, if we're talking about Bible stuff, when I mention people get saved, they come to Christ. That's what people call it. They come to Christ. They are born again, figuratively, in the Lord. They're born again. So, what if you catch a person that's right before that change? They can be despicable people. Think about those of you out there who are Christians and are saved. Think about the things you did before you were saved and afterwards. You can't label people. You can't attach, I am better than this person. This person is better than me. It's not how it works. That's not how the world works. There's always going to be people that are smarter than you and do things differently than you, but you are no worse or no better than any other person, despite what they say. That's why people hate it when people preach at them, because they get the impression that someone feels like they're better than them. But a lot of times that comes from what's feeling inside of the person that feels inferior, not the person that feels better. Because a person that has this inferiority complex, that has this life that's devoid of spiritual meaning, may attach meanings to people's words that are not there. Defensively, I don't know. I know this is really loose, guys. I'm looking back down here for a second. Now, when I read this thing, that's not exactly what this thing is saying here. Let's read it. And Jesus went throughout all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel in the kingdom and healing every disease and every affliction. Just think about that. This is a guy that knows he's going to die. He's going to be killed in a very painful, awful way. And he's doing all of this stuff. Just keep that in mind. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. And of course, if you read the Bible, you know that Jesus is the good shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into this harvest. You don't pray to hurt people. You don't pray to say, why is this happening to me? Why am I having to do all this stuff? They just prayed for help. That's what they did. There's another passage in the Bible that we might get into at a different time, but I just want to kind of lightly skim this stuff, guys, maybe bit by bit. I hope you got something out of it that you can apply to the trade. I think you can. If you guys have any good ideas for other places we can go in the Bible, maybe verses or something, put them in the comments. If you guys don't like this puts you off. I mean, I know there's going to be some of you out there. Just bear with us. Maybe check it out. Maybe follow along a little bit. And hopefully you can find some meaning in there for you, and maybe it'll touch your heart in a way that you hadn't intended. That's what I'm hoping. And that's what I'm hoping here. I know this might not be the most popular thing to do, and I debated doing this, but then I realized this is not about being the most popular. I've never been that guy. I've always been the guy who pushed it to the limit and ended up not being the most popular. And I think I've demonstrated that over the years. But now, I think I've found a purpose that is better than just stumbling around like a river rock at the bottom of a stream. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you on the next one.